All right, so welcome, World History and Music kids. We're gonna just really quick wrap up World War One. Make sure you kind of get some big ideas out of there. We're gonna get all the way through the end of World War Two in 1945. Okay, a couple of things I just really wanted to go over is the map. All right, this is our pre-World War One map. We've got Austria-Hungary here. Germany's pretty big. We've got a lot going on. But then when you go to post-World War One, we have Poland all of a sudden. Romania got bigger, and then we have all of these new countries in here where the Austrian-Hungarian Empire was. So there's some significant changes, and a lot of these boundaries weren't drawn considering who lived there. They were just drawn because the winners wanted to have a territory and expand. So this is going to result in some bigger problems as we move forward in history. All right, so you should have read the Treaty of Versailles. And the big ideas I wanted you to get from that is that we're going to financially punish Germany. We're going to point blame on Germany. Meanwhile, the United States really wanted everybody to just kind of go home, make their countries better, and move forward with their lives. That didn't happen. Treaty of Versailles is going to get passed, and Germany is going to get all of the blame. What's going to happen after all of this, though, is going to be the Depression. And what you have to think about is that the U.S., as a huge economic powerhouse, the minute they hit a financial downturn, it's going to hurt everybody because everybody else is still post-World War I rebuilding mode. Okay, so once we really hit this huge economic problem, everybody's going to suffer. All right. And this one's going to be a big problem right here, right? Paying off debts, that's kind of a big deal. All right, on Google Classroom, there's one document, all right, armaments production, and a second page of that is called National Income of the Powers. And I'd really like you to look at it and answer these questions in your notebook, okay? So we're really looking at the amount of production for armaments as well as the national income being done. Here I have just kind of a quick snippet of those, so take some time and really look over them on your own. But the idea is this. This is what, by 1943, the Allied powers are spending on weapons. That's a lot of money, okay? All right, and then the Axis powers here, okay, we have a little problem with Italy because they surrendered and came running to us and had some problems there. But, okay, the idea is that they're not spending as much, all right, but they're still pretty up there. Germany's pretty comparable to the USSR. And then when you come over here to national income and you look at how much everybody is bringing in compared to how much they're making, check this out. National income, billions of dollars. Japan is at $4 billion, but they're spending 28% of that on armaments. So that's kind of a big deal, okay? All right, nationalism is huge. Nationalism is a big deal, especially among the Axis powers. All right, as illustrated by the propaganda on the right and the idea saying that patriotism means no questions. When your leader says do it, you don't question it, you just do it, okay? And this is really what helps Hitler. This is what helps everybody get through this time. All right, the thing to think about is that Japan, there are two fronts to World War II, all right? And pre-Japan bombing Pearl Harbor, this is what they're doing, okay? They're invading China. They're invading the French Indochina. They're taking all of this territory because they want to grow and expand beyond their little island, all right? And they are not nice about it, all right? What they do in Manchuria and Beijing and Nanjing are horrible atrocities of war comparable to what Germany does to the Jewish population. So that's often overlooked, but it's a really big deal, pretty much how horrible they are in the experiments they do on the Chinese people. All right, the Third Reich is going to pass a bunch of laws. This is where Hitler's going to slowly start taking power, becoming the leader of Germany. These are some things you kind of need to know about and just remember. Remember that they said per Treaty of Versailles, no military, but in 1935, Hitler is going to start building up the military. This is a big deal. Here's just some symbols. They're just interesting to look at. This is what people had to wear on their clothing in Germany to identify them as political enemies, habitual criminals, immigrants, Jehovah's Witnesses, gay males, all right, and then the Roma and the Sinti. Okay, so this is how you would be marked. This is how people knew who you were, all right, and then once you got taken to a camp, right, you're going to get your identifying number tattooed onto you. All right, so originally Europe's going to try to appease Hitler. They're going to be like, hey, please don't do this. You're being mean. Could you just stop? We're really broke. We don't want to fight. World War I wasn't that long ago. And Hitler's going to nod his head and be like, sure, but behind his back, his fingers are crossed, and he has zero intent of upholding the appeasement. Okay, so within no time, he's going to make it, and then he's going to break it. Then we're going to have the Munich Agreement, all right? This is going to then promise that Germany is going to stop doing things, right? He's not going to take land from Czechoslovakia. He's just going to stop, and that doesn't happen either. He goes ahead and he just moves. Okay, and it's really going to be September 1939 where it all changes, because Germany's going to invade Poland, and that's the last straw. Britain and France say no more. It's over. It's done. You can't do this anymore. Okay, in the meantime, there's this agreement between Germany and the USSR. Hitler's going to break that agreement too, which is the only reason why the USSR joins with the Allies and didn't stick and support Hitler. Here's some major dates for the European fronts, just things that you should kind of know and be familiar with. Okay, France, very quickly, once war is declared in 1939, they do fall to Germany, and they become kind of a puppet government by the Germans. Okay, then we're going to get Pearl Harbor in December of 1941, whereby we declare war on Japan, which means that Germany then declares war on us, which means now we're all in it. Okay, this war is taking place in Africa as well. Something to take note of, everybody out there who has a country in northern Africa. A lot is going on in that area during World War II. June, we have D-Day. Okay, then we're going to eventually liberate Paris in 1944, and then 1945 in May, we're going to have peace in the European front because in April, Hitler takes his life. All right, on the Pacific front, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, some of the big things that are going to happen there are going to be the battle for the Philippines, the Midway, Burma, Iwo Jima, which is the famous raising of the flag, all right, and then the infamous bombings in 1945 on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, okay? This is also when Russia finally invades China to push back the Japanese, so nice of them to finally come in and help us. The big ideas I want you to get from this are, number one, huge land shifts and border changes post-World War I, and that's going to feed into this World War II push. Punishing Germany didn't do a whole bunch, okay? So there are some huge problems that came from punishing Germany, all right? And in the meantime, Japan, all on their own, on their little island in the Pacific, is invading different Asian countries violently. They're attacking them, all right? They're going after them, and they're taking them down. These are big deals, all right? This war lasts a long time on the European front. Unlike World War I, we're actually in World War II for a significant amount of time, okay? We're going to come back, all right? And post-1945, all of these countries are going to have a better economic situation, especially America again. We definitely prosper post-wars, okay? But this one's going to last a long time, so... All right, these are some big ideas I wanted you guys to get. Please be sure to really look at the armament and the national income. Get this stuff in your notes. All right, we're going to be looking at propaganda next. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit more fun than this. All right, thanks.